State Senator Tim Sheldon. Morning, Tim.
Hi, Jeff. Good morning.
How you doing?
Great.
Here and there is some movement on the construction budget in the legislative yesterday. Did you get a chance to look at some of the stuff in there, and what can you tell me about it?
Well, I know what's on the Senate side, but I know the House budget came out yesterday, and I talked to Drew McEwen. I mentioned that he's going to send me a list, so it's probably in my email here of how we compared to the House with the Senate budget. So
it says a lot of the construction part of it. These are longer mostly bond-related issues. So there's not a lot of the contentious rankering, I guess, between the parties as we see it when it comes to the other budgets. Have you noticed that over your time in the Senate?
Yes. The construction budget, the capital budget, is primarily for school construction. I think over half of it goes to this year, the largest school construction budget we have ever had. And, of course, that matches the local money. So that's not contentious. We all agree we need to build those schools. And the transportation budget is usually not as contentious either. It's a general fund budget that causes the rancor and the discontent.
What else has the Senate been working on lately here, Senator?
Oh, let's see. We had some pretty interesting bills. We had a bill last night that was pretty interesting. It passed with 33 votes. It needed 30 because I think it was 36 votes it passed with, but it needed 30 because it also authorized some bonds. And this is for state parks. And over the next 3 bienniums, we've got to put some money into state parks to bring them up to quality standards. They are, if you rated them like a report card, they would be in a C or D category. We've got to bring them up, especially compared to other states. And the parks are such an essential part of Washington life here in the rural areas that we don't have city parks. We do in Shelton, a couple of them, but if you live in Seattle, you've got a lot of city parks, big ones. And so that was a little bit of the debate last night to the point I made that people in the urban area were maybe a little less likely to support the bill because state parks are not primarily in their district. So it did pass with the required votes, and hopefully passes the House. And we need some renovations, especially to the camping areas, the recreation areas that are inside the parks, just the general upkeep. And so anyway, I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that recreation stuff, that brings in a lot of outside dollars here to the great state.
Yes, it does. And in the capital budget, we've got quite a bit of money for locally for Ells Hill Hatchery, which is they're just behind the George Adams Hatchery on Highway 101 in the Skokomish. Mm-hmm. It's fed by a spring, and last year the state put in a 3,000-foot, 36-inch water line replacement. It's a huge spring back there that feeds that hatchery, which produces over half the trout in Washington that the Department of Fisheries plants in streams and lakes. So that's a very important piece, and we've got over $8 million, almost $9 million in this construction budget for them to renovate. Hoodsport Hatchery also got about almost $5 million for some renovations. So Correction Center. So we see some big projects that'll be happening in the next 2 years in Mason County, as well as money for Basin 3 sewer project. I think it's $1.5 million for Shelton. And then, of course, our $3 million for the homeless veterans project in Shelton.
Wow. Good stuff there. We move throughout the rest of this month, the likely end of the legislative session. Any conversations up there about how that will go towards the end of the month?
Well, we in the Senate are still saying that the House budget for general operating and education funds for the McCleary requirements that we have by the courts, it doesn't have a funding source. They still have not passed a tax package. They have a tax package that is in their revenue committee, but they haven't passed it. So we're hopeful that they can pass that, because you can't negotiate if you can't say how you're going to buy the car. I mean, you can't walk in and say, I want that Ford, but I don't have the money to pay for it. So I think they'll have to come to grips with this week, and it'll be interesting to see if they can get the votes of their own members for the tax package they're talking about, which is the largest tax package in state history. And this year we've got some of the largest increase in just general revenue, and that's primarily from the King County economy, which is just booming right now. 78 tower cranes in Seattle right now.
Wow.
It's amazing.
We'd love to see a lot of that construction throughout the rest of the state here. Well, State Senator...
Jeff, you hit a great point there. We have two Washingtons, and we're trying very hard with a lot of these bills to give some preference to the rural areas that need the growth.
Yeah. State Senator Tim Sheldon, I know you're a busy man here as the session moves on, but we do appreciate your time here on the air with us, and thank you, and go forth.
Thanks for letting me ramble on.
Yeah,
Talk
for
to you
sure.
next week.
All right.